Hello students, good morning to you all. Myself Frederick Lepcha, the assistant teacher in Asta Vidya Niketan, and I welcome you all on this online class. So today I'll be going to explain you about fundamentals of English grammar. Okay, so in this fundamentals of English grammar we will be discussing about parts of speech. Okay, but not in a sense that you have studied in your earlier classes. Like if I ask you what is a noun, you will be able to answer me. Okay, naming words are called nouns. And if I ask you about what is a pronoun, okay, you will be able to define me what do you mean by pronoun. But we will not study in that way. Okay, I have written here there are 8 parts of speech: noun, pronoun, okay, preposition, conjunction, adjective, verb, adverb, interjection. Okay, I have changed here the position of preposition and conjunction, okay, because I'll be going to deal with this 4 parts of speech. Okay, this 4 parts of speech I will do in next video. So first of all, let us see what do you mean by speech. Okay, so what is a speech? All right, it is the ability, okay, ability to express our thoughts, feelings, okay, or even you can call ideas, etc. All right, speech means it is the ability to express our thoughts, okay, feelings, ideas, etc. All right, so but to express our feelings, okay, thoughts, ideas in an articulate way, okay, in an articulate way, English grammar has given us 8 parts of speech. Okay, we use these 8 parts of speech to make our speech clear, okay, to express our thoughts, feelings and ideas in a very articulate manner. Okay, so now first of all, what I want to tell you is that today we will be studying about noun, pronoun, preposition and conjunction in a very different way. Okay, as I have already told you that it is not that what is a noun, okay, naming words are called nouns, okay, it is not like that. There are different parts of nouns, okay, there are different kinds of pronoun. You have already studied in your classes also, and I advise you to revise those portions. Okay, but today we will see these 8 parts of speech in a very different way. Okay, just like we will see function. Okay, so what are the functions of these 8 parts of speech? Okay, and we will see how to identify them, them in a sentence. Right, so this is called the fundamentals of English grammar. Okay, so today we will be dealing about the functions. Okay, what do these 8 parts of speech actually do in a sentence? Okay, and how to identify them in a sentence. Okay, I will be dealing with that today. So let us start from now. Okay, first of all we will see about noun. Okay, so I have already told you that it is not that what is a noun. Okay, we are not studying about what is a noun because you have already studied and you know that. Okay, you know the definition of noun. But so in a sentence, okay, what is the function of a noun? Okay, so if you see, okay, noun can be subject and object. All right, the function of noun in a sentence, okay, it can either be subject or object. Okay, you can even call subject is the doer, okay, doer of an action, and object is the receiver. All right, okay, so in a sentence, if a word has to become subject or the object, okay, that word has to be noun. Okay, I will give you the example here. Hari buys vegetables. Okay, now if you see, alright, it is a complete sentence. Okay, there are 3 words and 3 words are arranged properly, and it is a complete sentence, and this sentence is giving us some complete meaning or complete sense also. Okay, here we see the action of Hari. Okay, so what is the action that Hari carrying here? Okay, Hari is carrying the action of buying. Okay, buying vegetables. Now if you see here, Hari is the subject. Alright, so Hari is the subject, and in this sentence we are talking about Hari. Okay, so Hari is the subject and buy is verb. Alright, and vegetables, it is an object. Alright, Hari buys vegetables, so Hari becomes subject, and subject is carrying the action. As I have already told you here, subject is the doer of an action. So here Hari carries the action. So what is the carry? Okay, what is the action? Action to buy. Okay, and where is the effect going? Okay, the effect goes to the object. So therefore object is also known as the receiver of the action. Okay, the action carried out by the subject is received by the object. Okay, let me give you one more example. I'll give you another example, like okay, my father works in the office. Okay, so it is also a complete sense, and it is giving us complete meaning or sense also. So here my father. Okay, whose father? My father. So we are talking about my father, so my father becomes the subject. Okay, so now here works this verb. Alright, here we have got object. Alright, here we have got object, but in between we have got preposition also. Okay, preposition plus article is also there. So to say, this object, though it is an object, this object is not the object of verb, because in between there is a preposition. So office can be object. Okay, object of not verb, object of preposition. Okay, that is for your remembrance only. But if you see here, my father, okay, it is the noun. Alright, and if you see office, it is also a noun. Okay, so my father works in the office, so my father is subject, but it's a noun. And if you see here, okay, works, it is a verb, in it is a preposition, and the is called article. But office, if you see office, that become object. Okay, but that object is also a noun. So the function of noun in a sentence can be subject and object. As I've already told you, subject is the doer of the action and object is the receiver of the action. Similarly, I will tell you about pronoun. Okay, and pronoun, if you see pronoun also, alright, if you realize whatever the works that a noun can do, okay, pronoun also can do, because pronoun, you know that pronoun stands. Okay, pronoun stand in place of noun. Alright, as we all know that pronoun stands in place of noun. So whatever the works that is carried out by the noun, okay, can be carried out by the pronoun also. Alright, but there are some of the things that pronoun cannot do as nouns. Okay, I will let you know about that one also. Let me give you example here. As I had written already, Hari buys, B-U-Y-S, buys vegetables. Hari buys vegetables. Okay, so now here, if you put here he, okay, Hari, he buys, alright, vegetables. I put here plural, so Hari buys them. You can even call them. So Hari buys vegetables, he buys them. So in place of Hari, we have put the pronoun he. Okay, verb is already there, buys. Okay, and in place of vegetables we have put them. So here subject and object. Okay, so pronoun also can be subject and object in a sentence. So that is the function. Okay, that is a function of noun and pronoun in a sentence. Okay, but there are some certain things that a noun can do but pronoun cannot do. Okay, I will let you know about that one. Okay, before that, there are two functions of noun and noun. Okay, another function of noun and pronoun. They have got the tendency, all right, tendency to become plural. All right, there you know about it. Okay, there are two numbers, that is singular number and plural number. So similarly, noun and pronoun, they have got the tendency to become plural. Okay, so as for example, but what you have to remember is that, okay, in noun there are 5 different kinds of nouns, but only common, all right, only common and collective, only common and collective noun can change from singular to plural. Okay, other nouns cannot be changed from singular to plural. As for example, if you write boy, okay, yeah, if you put as here, okay, singular noun changes into plural noun. Similarly, for pronoun also, for pronoun we can write we, okay, and he, they, all right, she also, okay, that can be changed into they, okay, you, though second person singular and plural is same, okay, you, okay. So similarly, as nouns, okay, as noun can become, okay, can change from singular to plural. Similarly, pronoun also can change from singular to plural. So that is the work of noun and pronoun in a sentence. Okay, as I've already told you that noun and pronoun can be subject and object in a sentence. Similarly, they have got the tendency to become plural, as I've already given here some examples. All right, okay, okay, before I end the first part of the video, I would like to give you some hints about, okay, noun, gerund and infinitive. As we have already studied about gerund and infinitive, okay, I request you to revise these portions. Okay, it will be easy for you. As I told you about noun, okay, the function of noun, okay, the function of noun in a sentence is to become subject. Okay, I have given the examples also, but here gerund, okay, that means a word plus ing word. Okay, as for example, swimming, all right, swimming, all right, because gerund works as a noun. Okay, so if it works as a noun, okay, and obviously it is that noun can be subject and object in a sentence. Similarly, infinitive, okay, infinitives, okay, infinitive verbs, that means to plus v1, all right, as for example, to go, all right, right, these also can work as a noun. Okay, if it is if it can work as a noun, okay, that part can become subject and object in a sentence. Okay, I'll give you example. As for example, I like swimming, all right, I like swimming, subject, verb, object. Okay, here swim plus ing, okay, swimming, okay, the swimming word is working as a noun, so therefore it has become the object. Okay, so but swimming can be subject also. Okay, swimming is a good exercise. All right, here we have got the subject, we have got the verb here, we have got here adjective also, and we have got here object. Okay, this is noun, and here swimming, okay, it is working as a noun. Okay, so swimming. Gerund also can become object in a sentence and subject in a sentence. Okay, similarly, I'll give you here I love to play. All right, I love to play. So here a subject, and here we have a verb, here we have got an object. All right, object in a sentence we have got the infinitive. Okay, I love to play. Okay, though there are two verbs, one is infinitive verb and one is main verb, but still it is working as an object. So infinitive also can become object in a sentence. Okay, another example, to err. To err is human. All right, to err is human. So here to err, subject, verb object. Okay, so infinitive verb can also become object in a sentence and subject in a sentence. To or is human. It is obvious that is human nature. We make mistake. Okay, we commit sin, so that is human nature. Okay, there is a proverb also. To or is human, but to forgive is divine, we call it. Okay, so in this way we can know the function of noun. Noun can be subject, not only the noun. Gerund form of noun and infinitive form of noun also can be subject and object in a sentence. Okay, so I have tried my level best to explain you about the function of noun and pronoun in a sentence. Okay, so in our second part, okay, I'll be dealing with preposition and conjunction, the difference between how to find out, okay, preposition and conjunction in a sentence. Okay,
Thanks for watching this video.